Car accidents are the leading cause of death for Americans aged 15 to 20. In 2013, there were 2,524 teen deaths related to reckless driving. That comes out to approximately 8 teens per day that lose their life to texting and driving, drinking and driving, and any other reckless driving. Almost 50% of teens admit to texting and driving, and over 20% admit to have either been in the car with a drunk driver or have been the drunk driver. These deaths could so easily be prevented if teens would recognize how hazardous their driving truly is.
Hi, I'm Judy Hamby. I'm an occupational therapist and I specialize in rehab for the adult, and that includes ages 17 and up. So I see a lot of teenagers at the hospital after accidents. Well, um, the hardest people to face are the kids who have been injured in those accidents because they were texting. A lot of times they have broken bones, they've broken their legs, their back, they have brain injuries and spinal cord injuries. That means that they're not going to be able to go on to college the way that they planned. They're not going to be able to continue with their life in the dreams that they had before. Their dreams get derailed very quickly because they were in an accident and had severe injuries. They may have all of a sudden been paraplegic or quadriplegic, and so they're not able to walk, and they may not be able to feed themselves. They may not be able to go to the bathroom by themselves. They may not be able to get themselves dressed anymore. And the same thing happens after a brain injury oftentimes, is sometimes they have to be fed through a tube and they can no longer think clearly, and they're just relearning how to do the most basic things like what is a spoon and how do you bring it to your mouth. And they're trying to figure out literally who they are. They don't remember their name. They don't remember where they're from. They don't remember anything they learned in school. They're just trying to figure out where they are, what happened to them, and everything is gone. All the hopes and dreams they had, they're gone. So drinking and driving has the same consequences as texting and driving. The brain injuries, the spinal cord injuries, the broken bones, all those things happen with drinking and driving too. And the kids, they feel so guilty because they know that they did this to themselves. Um, a lot of times they're also taking people out with them. They have hit somebody in another car, and that family is suffering as well. And living with that guilt is agonizing for that teenager to have to realize that, I decided I had to drink or I had to send that text, and I have changed not only my life, but I have changed all these other people's lives. And it's terrible watching that guilt happen, and then all the consequences that come with that. Not to mention the legal aspects that happen after you do it to someone else, and the financial hardship that happens. The dreams aren't the only thing that goes away. It's oftentimes your freedom and your finances, and everything goes away with making one bad decision on one occasion because it just seemed like the thing to do at that moment. Those those decisions have lifelong ramifications sometimes, and making a decision to be a strong person and not do those things might save not only your life but someone else's life. Sometimes I just wish I could get someone to understand what a brain injury is really like, when they can't talk, they can't eat, they're drooling out of one side of their mouth. Sometimes they're missing part of their skull because the neurosurgeon had to remove part of the skull to relieve the pressure on their brain because there was so much bleeding in their brain. Sometimes, and then you see them later and there's this big indentation, and eventually they'll get it put back on, but it's, in the meantime, they get to look in the mirror every single day and see that big hole in their skull, knowing I took a drink and that's why I have a hole in my skull, and that's never going away. And looking down at a wheelchair and knowing that those are now the legs forever, that's the only way you're going to get around for the rest of your life because you decided to take one drink or send one text that said something as simple as I'm on my way, or I'll be there in 5 minutes, or it doesn't matter what it says, it destroys lives. It just destroys lives. Watching all that happen, everything everyone planned for, going to college and getting married and one day having kids or going to the military, it's gone. It's all gone forever.